Hey y'all, welcome back to Andy's Little Homestead. It's a beautiful morning here in northern Michigan and we're at a local school cooking some barbecue for all the teachers. Now I've actually been here since 4:15 and I started filming some things and it was dark. So I figured I'd just wait and catch y'all up. But what we're trying to do today is one of the most difficult things in barbecue, and that's actually a direct heat cook using some beautiful and very dry maple that we got off the farm. So today we're going to talk about a direct heat cook, how it works. I'm going to show you all my recipes for my dry rub and two sauces that you may not have heard of, but you're going to wish you had in your mouth. So let's go ahead and start at the start. What is direct heat? The vast majority of large smokers will have a little firebox right here. As you can see, it is conspicuously absent. You see a lot of the side fireboxes, and that's a perfectly acceptable piece of equipment or method, but it does have one major potential downside, and that's this terrible thing called dirty smoke. Dirty smoke is unburnt hydrocarbons, and you get it when you choke down the air that's going into the fuel. So the common knowledge or method is to, close down the baffles so that you can control the heat, but that ends up imparting a harsh flavor on the meat, and the meat is the main event here. So we're doing it this way. I burn those maple sticks down until they're bright white coal, and then they go in there. Every bit of moisture that was in them, it's gone. There's nothing to cool that down, and I'm controlling my temperature by the amount of fuel that I add. So right now we've got some ribs on there. They've been on for an hour. We're also going to do chicken and sausage, and I believe it's going to be delicious. Now the name of the game with smoking meat is low and slow, and that seems kind of counterintuitive to a direct heat method, and that's what makes this difficult. The temperature that this is at is dependent entirely on how much fuel I add, so it can take a little extra work. That is compounded by the fact that these thermometers are not always accurate. It's sitting almost a foot above the grate and it's right in the center. I've got hot spots and cold spots to worry about. How do I reconcile all that? You ready for it? That's my method. If I can hold my hand on that for 2 seconds, then I know it's at 250 degrees. I had to pull my hand off of that side a little quick. She's a little hot right there, but this side where the ribs are is perfect. As you know, barbecue is all about the peak of technology, sophistication, tools. So like I said, we got here real early this morning. Got the fire going to get our coals rolling. And I got the ribs on about an hour ago. For the ribs, I did a dry rub. Used brown sugar, salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, and a little bit of Creole seasoning. I don't have measurements. I lick my finger, I stick it in there. When it's equally salty and sweet and the other flavors are represented, she's good. Some people choose to use mustard as a binder, which is strange because the mustard flavor just burns off. Doesn't taste like mustard at all. Just magical disappearing mustard. I don't know how it works. I didn't do it. You can. I've had good results either way. Remember y'all, if you're looking, you ain't cooking. But since she's running a little hot, I want to dissipate some of that heat. We'll take a quick peek. There we go. Now the direct heat method takes a lot of work because you are constantly messing with stuff. Probably every 10 to 15 minutes I'm having to add coals. So what I do, I pull the tray out, I bring my best coal. I lost my shovel head. Hold on, give me a second. Get back here. There, stay. I bring my good coals to the front, and this is what we're cooking with. And I'm not adding much. Temperature fluctuations are not a good thing. I'm gonna slide the old girl back in. And then what I want to do is bring some of those logs in the back that are starting to burn down good up here to the front. Any that aren't quite there yet, like that big guy, I'm gonna leave that one alone. But those are close. But even this right here, that's got that full-blown flame on it, that's not ready to go in the cooker yet. And then I'm taking a few new logs, I'm tossing them all the way to the back so that they can burn down. It's a constant cycle of burning it down to coals, getting it into the smoker, and then rotating new wood in. And yeah, that's happened basically every 10 minutes since the coals were ready to go at 5:30 this morning. But guys, it ain't just about the destination, it's about the journey. So it's about, what time is it? It's right around 7:30. Ribs have been on for 2 hours. It's time to tackle the chicken. Well, not literally tackle the chicken. That seems like excessive force. We're gonna prep this chicken to go on. There we go. So yeah, all I did was cover him in Creole seasoning. I didn't use any kind of fancy rub. That little guy right there. The smoke and the meat are doing the talking. The seasonings are less important, so don't overthink it. Here you go. Into the sauna. Despite the way that I do things a lot of the time, salmonella is not something that I like to let her wobble on. So a good bleach water solution is your friend. All right, we got everything on there rolling. We got about 2 more hours before we got to add the sausage. It don't take long. So let's make some sauces. The first one is gonna be a Western North Carolina sauce, also called a Lexington style. The most blasphemous part about me is that I'm from Eastern North Carolina, but the Western style is better. I'm sorry, y'all, it is. Ketchup, cider vinegar, brown sugar, Tony's, black pepper, heavy on that one, garlic, little onion, and the secret ingredient, Mountain Dew. Mix it up and taste it. And then add whatever you think is missing. Just do what you want. It's not, barbecue doesn't have room for hard and fast rules. Just make good food. It ain't rocket surgery. So this one we're actually gonna throw into the smoker just to bring the heat up. It'll kind of help everything bind together, but we got it where we want it. I forgot 2 things. I added sage and crushed red pepper. Then I added more vinegar because it needed it. So the next one on the list is probably like one of the most lesser known. Ain't a whole lot of people know about this one, but y'all, it is one of my favorite sauces in existence and completely underrated. We're making Alabama white sauce. Mayo. Y'all, I've never condoned violence. But if you use Hellmann's to make Alabama white sauce, I might condone violence against that. Cider vinegar. That looks disgusting. Mix it up till it looks less gross. Where's the sugar? Brown sugar, garlic, onion, black pepper heavy, salt, mix it, taste it, see what it's missing, more brown sugar, taste it, see what it's missing, a little hot sauce, and she's ready. And I know it's weird. I need you guys to trust me on this one. This one's pretty exclusive to like smoked chicken and turkey, you know, bird type barbecue, but once you try it, you'll never go back. So we've had a nice clean smoke rolling for a few hours. The chicken's on, the ribs are moving right along. Y'all, I'm starting to get excited. We are within probably an hour of our estimated completion time. So it's time to do a little bit of checking and adjustifying. All right, look at you. You beautiful little critters on there. So now we've got to break out the old instant read thermometer. Let's get some numbers. So after a random sampling of all of our chicken, we're hanging out right around 160. So those are very close to the end. Our sausage hasn't been on long, so we're not gonna talk about that. And our ribs are hanging out around like 165 to 170. That's safe to eat, but it's not gonna be the texture that we want. We want it right around 190. That's gonna be where it has a nice pull, but doesn't just fall off the bone. Fall off the bone is nonsense. That's not what you want. You want nice and tender, with a little bit of tug. The other thing that we want to notice here is that our color on these ribs is pretty much where we want it to be. I basted it a couple times so far, so now we're gonna break out what's called the Texas crutch. Butcher paper. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our ribs, we're gonna wrap them up in the butcher paper. That's gonna protect them from some of that smoke. It's not gonna add any more, well, not much more color or flavor to it, but we'll be able to continue cooking. Make sure you use the stuff that's actually like 100% paper, not the coated stuff. It'll probably give you cancer or something. Then from there, we'll put the ribs back on. We'll probably shift some of the charcoal over to this side and kind of keep it away from the chickens. They'll get more color, but won't cook much more. And in an hour or so, everybody will be happy. This year, get her the Christmas present she really wants. Ribs. Now you can do this with foil, and then that kind of gets into things like like a stall, which is where the temperature doesn't go up anymore or something to that effect. I don't know, I haven't read anything. But basically some people use foil. I prefer the butcher paper because it's gonna help maintain some of that nice crispy them burn ends on the outside, the good stuff. I don't want that to turn soggy. They're ribs. So from here, we're gonna adjust our charcoal, give it another hour or so, and we'll be good to go. All right, y'all, our chicken is done. We're at a perfect 165. The skin on it looks delicious. I wish you could smell it. It's awesome. We let it set just for a little bit because we got to pull it, but it's hot. To mitigate that, we've got some rubber coated insulated work gloves. They're made for cold weather, not hot food, but insulation is insulation. So let's tear this apart. Beautiful. Ain't she pretty? It's a good idea to give it a nice final feel through to see if you got any bones left in there. And now it's time to sample and get some skin in there too. Can't beat it. Cannot beat it. Not on this planet. And now, the moment I've been waiting for since I woke up at 3 o'clock this morning. It's time to pull the ribs. That is beautiful. Let's see what she looks like on the inside. Pretty happy with that, y'all. Gotta try that out. All right, y'all. I think I got some grease on my camera. Yep. All right. No, we're good now? All right. So I didn't film feeding everybody because, well, this is the internet, and statistically speaking, at least 5 of y'all are creeps. The teachers were happy with it, and I was too. Barbecue truly is a process. It is an art. It is something that you continue to pursue. So it's important to objectively kind of measure how you did and make adjustments later on. This smoker here, I had to borrow. Having never used it before, I wasn't 100% sure on the temperature. And as a result, to be completely honest, the ribs weren't quite what I wanted them to be. And honestly, that's probably just because I got my standard real high. And as with most things that I put on this channel, I am by no means an expert on it, but it is something that I enjoy doing, and I've been doing it for a little while. I'm very grateful for what the people here do, and I'm glad to make them a good lunch, even if it means I gotta wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. And most barbecue guys out there have something to say or their own beliefs about times and temps and methods and wood type and everything else. That's fine. If the food ends up good, then it's right. As always, I hope y'all enjoyed and I hope you learned something. I love you, and God bless. If you felt my number or frequency of off-color jokes was just a little bit off today, I'm at a school. Andy's meat. It's hard to beat.